and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. This song is what we call a chant. The same melody just goes again and again. And so the melody is going to get really familiar to you. And as we sing it through a few more times, I'd like to invite you to just sing with me. I know you might be alone in your house, or you might even have people listening, but just take a deep breath and close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. And just breathe with me. And sing if you're hearing that melody. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I pray and turn. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I sing and turn within. I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I pray and turn within. Oh, I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. One more time with sing. I sing and turn within. I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I sing and turn within. Oh, I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I open up my heart and feel God's love.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla Kunimoto. I'm your Vice Chairman and MC here at Unity of Tacoma. It is so nice having you all joining us this Sunday. I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Asha Burson-Johnson, who is the Spiritual Director of Center for Spiritual Living, Port Angeles, and whose talk title today is Between the Break and the Fix, and our musical guest, ChristineEss Young, who has been performing for Unity of Tacoma for quite a while, sharing her beautiful skills and her beautiful voice. So to start things off, Asha, if you could join us and start the invocation, that would be amazing.
So I just invite us all to take a deep breath, letting go of everything that has come before and anything that may be happening later. Coming into this beautiful present now moment, this space of togetherness across the amazing world of technology, connecting us all through the vibration of life, trusting and knowing that this service is divinely guided and guarded, and that whatever wants to be heard and known and felt here is always allowed to be, that whatever happens is perfect and is unfolding in the divine mind already, aligning everything for its perfect unfolding. I trust this process. I know there's nothing to manage, handle, or fix, just to be present and aware and recognize the unity of all life, which we swim in, breathe, and have as our presence. I let it all go in this moment as we say together, and so it is.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaken, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but boy, I'm not shaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah, yeah. Keep on moving and climbing. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. And sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah, yeah. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. Yeah. It's all about the climb. Keep the faith, keep your faith. It's all about the climb.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. That's perfect. I love how the knowingness of spirit runs through things, because ChristineEss and I talked on email, and I didn't tell her which songs to pick. I just gave her a rough idea about what I was talking about. And I said, I trust that whatever you pick will be just perfect. And it is. I love that. So just take a deep breath, get yourself grounded in this present moment. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I've been mulling over this idea of between the break and the fix because of Facebook. I really appreciate that Facebook is a divisive and challenging platform, and also an amazing space of enlightenment and connection and fodder for growth and possibilities. I've learned to be a very quick scroller. I can go through things I don't want to waste my time on very quickly. And then I just get these little intuitions. Look at that, look at this. And there was a beautiful man who was a cello player, a cellist. And his thing was between the break and the fix. And I went, well, that sounds interesting. So I didn't know he was a cello player, but he started speaking about this idea that between what he calls the break, when something happens in our life, where everything falls apart, and the fix, when things seem to be better, he talked about this space in between. And that in every movie and in every book, almost without fail, there's a time when the protagonist has a break. Everything falls apart. You know, they're off on their journey or they're striving to move and grow in life, and then something happens and everything falls apart. You know, we see that definitely in Lord of the Rings, you know, where Frodo's about to just give up and Sam is like, no, we can't give up. We have to keep going. So then there's this moment when it shifts to the fix, where things get better. And there's this space in between. And for me, especially lately, I'm really recognizing that what I fill that space with is what helps move the fix or the possibility of something more preferred in my life. I don't like to use right or wrong or good or bad anymore. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, our philosophy says preferred and non-preferred experiences. And I really like that delineation because, you know, whatever's happening is happening. And whether it's a preferred experience or not is up to me, is how I choose to view it. Because often what we would say was the worst thing that ever happened to us is also the best thing that ever happened to us. So the word break for me ties to this idea of heartbreak. We've said often, you know, my heart was broken, or I have a heartbreak. And I like to say that I'm breaking open, that it's a break open. That I often place walls between my heart and the world. I do this for this weird idea of illusion of safety or protection, or I just can't feel one more thing. And so a wall goes up. So the heartbreak, the break open, seems to me to be very necessary so that I can feel my life, so I can feel my life and the life of others that I am intimately connected with. And I came across this beautiful poem, which is long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can relax. It's by David Whyte, W-H-Y-T-E. I believe he's English. And it's called Heartbreak. And I'm just going to read a few lines that specifically leapt out at me. Because this is a time where many of us are experiencing heartbreak on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. The next piece of news that comes across, the next, you know, sign of COVID, the next fires somewhere, the next thing that happens is often feeling like another occasion for my heart is breaking. And can we reframe it? My heart is breaking open because I feel, because I love, because I care. So that's what this poem is about. I'm just going to read a few pieces of it. And it's available if you'd like a copy of the whole thing. I saw it on Facebook, but I also have a copy of it and I'm happy to share that. And my email address will be shared on the website afterwards. So you can send me a note and I'm happy to share it, along with a couple of other things I'm going to use today. David Whyte says, heartbreak is unpreventable, the natural outcome of caring for people and things over which we have no control, of holding in our affections those who inevitably move beyond our line of sight. Heartbreak is not a visitation, but a path that human beings follow through even the most average life. Heartbreak has its own way of inhabiting time and its own beautiful and trying patience in coming and going. Heartbreak is how we mature, yet we use the word heartbreak as if it only occurs when things have gone wrong. Heartbreak, we hope, is something we hope we can avoid, something to guard against, a chasm to be carefully looked for and then walked around. The hope is to find a way to place our feet where the elemental forces of life will keep us in the manner to which we want to be accustomed, and which will keep us from the losses that all other human beings have experienced without exception since the beginning of conscious time. But heartbreak may be the very essence of being human, of being on the journey from here to there, and of coming to care deeply for what we find along the way. Heartbreak asks us not to look for an alternative path because there is no alternative path. It is a deeper introduction to what we love and have loved, an inescapable and often beautiful question, something or someone who has been with us all along, asking us to be ready to let go of the way we are holding things, and preparation, perhaps, for the last letting go of all. Take a breath. I used to take care of my husband's mom and grandma for a while. And his mom passed away before his grandmother did, her third child who had passed away out of her 4 children. She had lost 3 husbands in her life. And when I lived with her, she was 99 to 102. This woman was born in 1908 and had seen everything. I mean, everything. Can you imagine the changes that she saw happen in her lifetime? 2 world wars, Spanish flu, Great Depression, loss after loss after loss. And I saw this woman choose love over and over and over again, choose to get up every day and put on her little velour tracksuit and go in the living room and read the paper with her matching earrings and her lipstick. When I think of this heartbreak idea, I think of her. She used to reach up and pat my cheek when she saw I was having a rough day, and she'd say, "This too shall pass." And I had to believe her because she'd seen so much. And she continued to choose love. She continued to love regardless of the fact that her heart had been broken over and over again. And when she would cry a little bit about the loss of her daughter, who she was very close to, and I would say, "I'm sorry you're hurting," and she would say, "That's just love. Grief is the other side of love. If I didn't love deeply, I wouldn't grieve deeply." She was very wise. I learned a lot from her. What I'm really getting deep into these days is the ability and the willingness for us to feel everything, to feel all of our feelings, to recognize there's no such thing as a good feeling or a bad feeling, or ugly feelings, or ugly parts of ourselves. Somebody talked the other day about they want to love all their parts, even their ugly parts. And I noticed I had a weird visceral reaction in my body. It was something new. And I recognized in that instant, I don't want to claim that any of my parts are ugly anymore. There are no ugly parts. There are just parts. Parts of us that are preferred and non-preferred, and none of them are ugly. And in this very visceral time, this time when things seem to keep being thrown at us to absorb and work with and feel every day, it's our ability to feel them deeply that allows us to also let them pass through us and not be trapped inside of us. Our spiritual community here at Center for Spiritual Living is really deepening in body practices, tangible, somatic body practices. A couple of weeks ago, we did drumming. And then this last week on our gathering, we danced for 15 minutes. I put on some wild, crazy music and we just danced like crazy people to get the energy moving through our bodies. As white Americans, many of us are very good at neck up or sometimes even heart up behavior, thinking, dealing with stuff. I'm a very logical, linear thinker. I try to figure things out with my brain. Sometimes it's the body that really is the wisdom. The body knows when we're stuck. The body knows when we're open or closed. The body knows that we have trauma that we need to let go of. And so body practices, shouting, dancing, drumming, just going wild for a while, creating art, music, vocalizations, chanting, all of these things are ways that as primal human beings, we knew how to let go of the daily life trauma. And we've forgotten that, I think, many of us, as a skill. And so it's some important and right now vital, I think, for our well-being to tap back into those body practices and to allow ourselves to feel and let go, to no longer cling to or stuff down whatever it is we're feeling. And so, of course, as a beautiful synchronicity resource, another quote came across my eyes on Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. It says, the unconscious effort of protecting ourselves from unwanted and painful sensations keeps our nervous system in a state of constant threat and stress. When it doesn't feel safe in our body, we shut down and disconnect from our emotional intelligence and flow. This is the emotional trauma that perpetuates resistance towards life and blocks authentic connections. Healing begins and deepens in that moment when we give up resisting circumstances and we are willing to look towards the disowned feelings. Take another breath. I have a women's group that meets here once a month, and the women that come have had stories that are often unbelievable, and yet they have happened. And what I continue to see through all of us is resilience. Women who thought they were weak, who discovered they were strong. Women who found safety in sharing their deep stories in the presence of others who are willing to listen with no interruption, no fixing, no managing, no good advice, just listening. And I've had a number of people apologize for crying, and I just say, no, your tears are a gift. Your tears are a blessing. There are no bad feelings. There's nothing that we need to hide anymore if we can find a safe space to express who we are. Doesn't mean we just do that willy-nilly, randomly with everybody in the world. There are people in places that are not maybe safe to do that. But can we find at least one other person, one place, like a beautiful spiritual center, like a connected community of intentional beings who are willing to dive deep into life, deep into everything, and feel it so that we can move through? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death really stresses that word walk through. It says, don't make a condo there. The valley of the shadow of death comes from this idea of the shepherds herding their sheep through a valley. And the wolves knew that's where it was a good place for picking off the sheep. They would hide behind the rocks in the valley. And they knew that that was a narrow place that the shepherds would drive their sheep through, which is why it became known as the valley of the shadow of death, because that's where the wolves were. So the shepherds knew, we're not going to stop here and have a rest. We're not going to stop here and munch on the grass. We're going to keep going. and get to the other side of that mountain that Christina so beautifully sang about. There's always going to be another mountain. We're always going to want to make it move. We just keep going. I love analogies and metaphors. It's a way that I figure out life. It's a way that I can reframe life often. And lately I've been getting this really big vision of surfing. I am not a surfer. I have never surfed in my life. I grew up in Southern California, not a surfer. I'm not even a great swimmer. And I've watched surfing a lot. I've watched people body surf and kneeboard and ride the waves. Even here up in the peninsula, there are people that surf this very cold water, and it's quite miraculous to me. And what I see is the waves of life are going to keep coming. For me, sometimes it feels like every day, every minute, I start up, down in the morning and up later and down again and up, and here we go, another day with the feelings, all of them. And we have an opportunity to get good at surfing. What I noticed from watching surfers is they may ride 15 waves or try to ride 15 waves before they ever catch one. And they don't give up. They just keep paddling. Oh, that one. Oh, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. No, not that one. Okay, well, go back out again. I'm gonna get, no, not that one. All right, go back out again. Or the wave comes and then dumps them, crashes them to the bottom, board flying. And again, they don't go, that's it, I'm never surfing again. And they just stop off on the beach and quit. They paddle back out again. And they're smart enough to know, I think I need a rest now. I think I'm going to go sit on the beach for a while before I get back out there. So for us, that's an opportunity. Is it time to surf? Is it time to paddle out? Is it time to rest on the shore? Our head will want to tell us, no, you got to keep going. But sometimes our body says, no, today you need to rest. Today is time to be quiet. Today, find a happy, silly movie to watch instead of one that will further break your heart open. That doesn't come from our head. That comes from our body. And the more we can be willing and able to ask our body, what is it you need right now from me? We usually or often discover a little 3-year-old whose needs never got met or often didn't get met. And then you, as the grown-up person, can go in and tend to that inner 3-year-old. Oh, honey, you seem really fussy right now. Maybe you just need a nap. Maybe you just need something to eat. Maybe you need some quiet time. Maybe you need to draw or paint. Can we be willing to ask, what do I need right now? Not from the outside world, not from somebody else. We often want the outside world to change so we can feel better. Boy, these days, that's for sure, right? Can we be the nurturer of our inner being? Can we ask the question, what do I need right now? What will soothe my soul in this moment? And then go do that. A couple of weeks ago, I noticed I was really bound up. I was really feeling angst and frustration. I was being short with people that I love, and that's not my normal way of being. And I thought to myself, I need to make some art. And I don't consider myself necessarily an artistic person. I don't paint, I don't draw, and I like to create beautiful spaces, and I like to do things that are very kinesthetic, hands-on. I like to do things with my hands. I'm also an organizer, so I love to clear spaces and rearrange things, and that satisfies some deep part of my soul, creating order and releasing things into the universe that I'm not using anymore, that are sitting in closets being unloved and unspecial. So I had a pile of chairs sitting on the side of our baby barn here on our property that had, for 2 years, had been waiting to go to the dump, and we just hadn't ever organized a dump run, along with a bunch of other stuff. And I got a really clear vision. I want to do something with these chairs. I want to create some outdoor art with these chairs. So a friend of mine and I, this young friend I have, I said, come on, you're going to help me make some art. And I got this really clear vision. We have a line of trees on one part of our property. And so we took up one of the chairs and put it up in a tree, hooked it onto the tree. And then the next tree has the same chair, but with a piece missing and kind of in an angle. And then the next tree has the chair broken up a little bit more. So what it looks like is a freeze frame of a chair flying through space, breaking apart. And in the process, we needed to create chair parts. So we got to smash some of these chairs. We were heaving them on the ground, breaking them into bits because we didn't care how they broke apart. We trusted the process. The very final thing is on the ground, a pile of chair parts. So we just created this piece of art of smashing up chairs and spreading them out in an artistic way throughout these trees. And somebody said, what's it called? I said, it's called a giant tantrum. It looks like a giant had a tantrum throwing this chair through the trees because it's, they're up kind of high, but it was also us having a giant tantrum, kinesthetically releasing pent up frustrations and angst and anger by smashing these chairs and then creating something out of the broken pieces. That's part of what we can do in the space between the heartbreak and the fix. The heartbreak and whatever the next phase may be. Sometimes we just need to break stuff up, rearrange it, and make something new. Or go into those closets and pull everything out and look at it with fresh new eyes. What do I love? What brings me joy? What do I use? And what has been hiding in the dark, unloved, and unused for years? If I send it out into the universe, can somebody else love it and use it? Repurpose it. We have so much that we cram inside of ourselves that gets hidden in the dark spaces, in the corners, that we never let have any sunlight or breath or air. Can we take that out and look at it and say, do I need to carry this anymore? This story, this idea, this belief. Like for me, the idea that there are no ugly parts. That was new. I've always said, I want to love all my parts, my ugly parts, my beautiful part. Well, that's an idea that's time for me has run its course. There are no ugly parts. They're all beautiful. So the last thing I want to leave you with today is another little thing that came across Facebook for me. And it's called a gratitude scavenger hunt. I don't know if it's backwards on your screen or not, but this is another handout that's going to be offered and available to you. And I'm going to read them so you don't have to worry about if it's backwards. So it's a practice you could do every single day. It's a great checklist for those of you like me who like lists. So the first thing is find something that makes you happy. Number 2, find something to give someone else to make them smile. Number 3, find one thing that you love to smell. Number 4, find one thing you enjoy looking at. Number 5, find something that's your favorite color. Number 6, find something you are thankful for in nature. Number 7, find something that you can use to make a gift for someone else. And number 8, find something that is useful for you. It's an easy list to do. I had a good friend who said she got this list. She was having a rough day. She said, oh, I'm going to go and take a walk in nature. She was able to check off like 4 things just taking that walk in nature. She found something beautiful. She took some pictures. She made a video. She shared with other people. It was like, oh, this is great. This is like a 5-fer, not a 2-fer, a 5-fer. It was awesome. It opens us up a little bit differently to look at the world with eyes of gratitude, which is a beautiful practice. Can I be grateful for each and every moment? Can I remember that this too shall pass, that we will find balance? We are in balance somewhere in us in this very moment, regardless of what's going on in the outside world. Can we love ourselves even more so we have more space to love each other. I am grateful for this opportunity to be here with you today. I am grateful that we are all learning to surf, to fall down, to swim back out, and to rest on the shore when we need to. Take a deep breath. Let this moment go. And now we get to hear more beautiful music with ChristineEss.
Some people long for a life that is simple and planned, tied with a ribbon. Some people won't sail the sea 'cause they're safer on land. To follow what's written, but I'd follow you to the great unknown, off to a world we call our own. Hand in my hand, and we promised to never let go. We're walking a tightrope. High in the sky we can see the whole world down below. We're walking a tightrope. Never sure, never know how far we could fall, but it's all an adventure that comes with a breathtaking view. Walking a tightrope with you. Ooh, 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 ooh. With you. Ooh, 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 with you. Mountains and valleys and all that will come in between. Desert and ocean, you pulled me in, and together we're lost in a dream. Always in motion, so I risk it all just to be with you. And I'd risk it all for this life we choose. Hand in my hand, and you promise to never let go. We're walking a tightrope. High in the sky we can see the whole world down below. We're walking a tightrope. Never sure, will you catch me if I should fall? Well, it's all an adventure that comes with a breathtaking view. Walking a tightrope with you. Ooh, 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 ooh. With you. Ooh, 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 ooh. With you. With you. With you. With you.
Beautiful. Perfect. So this is our time for meditation. I invite you to close your eyes if you choose, or keep your eyes open and find something beautiful to look at. We just step into this time apart. time apart from everything that has been said before, everything that is happening later. A time of breath and space. And imagine you're standing on the shore of an ocean. And you can see as far as the horizon. And notice for yourself what kind of day it is, or whether it's night. Notice the weather. Notice the type of beach you picked to stand on. Sandy or rocky, or made of lava, or anything else. Just notice your surroundings. Notice the smell of salt in the air, the wind on your cheek, the freshness. Hear the waves either lapping or crashing upon the shore. You get to choose what the waves are doing. Notice that as you stand there in this beautiful quiet space with only the sounds of the wind and the birds and the ocean, that you begin to see a figure on a board out in the water, just sitting there bobbing on the sea. You can't tell if it's a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. And you notice that as this person, this being is sitting on this board, that the waves begin to pick up. And they begin to roll and make tubes and circle and crash. And that the figure on the board, with effortless grace, begins to swim and stroke and catch each wave and ride it almost as if it's magic. Each wave perfect. Each wave giving this rider a smooth and effortless ride. Until they move out of the curl of the wave and find their way back to this calm sea on the other side of the waves. And then the waves increase. And this rider again rides the waves, but this time sometimes falls, sometimes is tumbled about, and yet each and every time gets right back on that board. And tries to catch another wave. And at some point, the waves begin to slow and quiet. And you notice that this person on this board is moving towards shore, where you stand. And as they get closer and closer, you recognize that it's you. And as this figure comes closer and closer, it steps right inside of you and makes a home there, finds a home there, a safe space where it can impart its wisdom, its love, and its ability to surf right into the heart of your heart. Look around again. Notice the surroundings of this beautiful place. Take 3 deep breaths. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back into this space. Thank you.
Well, I get up in the morning and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I get up in the morning and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I can make this day what I want it to be, for in all things it's the truth I see. I get up in the morning and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I go about my day and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I go about my day and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I can make this day what I want it to be, centered in joy and prosperity. I go about my day and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I come home in the evening and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I come home in the evening and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I can make this day what I want it to be. Namaste, behold the light in you and me. I come home in the evening and celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I come down, when I lay down at night, I celebrate with a brand new gratitude. When I lay down at night, I celebrate with a brand new gratitude. I can make this day what I want it to be, holding peace for all people from sea to sea. When I lay down at night, I celebrate with a brand new gratitude, with a brand new gratitude. I celebrate every day of my life with a brand new gratitude.
Thank you so much, ChristineEss, and thank you, Asha. Your guys' synergy between you both, the message and the music, they fit each other so perfectly. I have some last few announcements for you all. I'll give the benediction, and then ChristineEss will sign us off with a nostalgic song. Should say that. I just want to let you guys know that you're supporting us by sharing our website, letting your friends and family know where you're spending your Sunday mornings. Your tithes and donations allow us to continue our effort to providing you amazing guest speakers and musicians. Unity's goal is to give you the tools to live a content and happy life. For our guest speaker, Lori Burson-Johnson, and our musical guest, the Zebas. So now on to the benediction. I'd like to ask you all to take a nice deep breath in. And let's be present in this space together, giving this prayer into the coming week. Let's think about the natural world around us right now. The leaves are changing colors, the birds are getting a little bit more quiet, and the days are getting shorter. The world changes, just as our life goes through changes. And let's ask Spirit to help us through these changes. Amen.
Sing along at home with me, guys. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us this Sunday.
Thank you all. It was lovely to be with you. Bye.